Hi, I'm Bill the Geek, broadcasting not live from Chapala, Mexico. On our channel, we do everything Mexico. Mexico travel, we have videos about going to Puerto Vallarta, Guadalajara, all kinds of pueblos like Chapala, Ajijic, San Nicolas. We've been all around Mexico and we tell you what it's like and show you videos and drone shots. Also, we do legal tips in Mexico, health tips Mexico, eating tips Mexico. So if you want to see more of that, click the subscribe button. That's what we do here. And we also do tech tips on web development, technology like cameras, drones, and stuff like that. This video is about American women working in Mexico. This video is about American women starting a business in Mexico. In this video titled American Women Working in Mexico, it's with my auto mechanic. And she's just fabulous. Yes, my auto mechanic is a woman and she's an American and she's like, I feel like she's my best friend. Have I met all of her family? No. Have I met her husband? No. Have I been to dinner at her house? No. Has she been to dinner at my house? No. But I tell you what, I've been taking my car there for 3 years. My car is 20 years old and she knows everything. She's like the woman on My Cousin Vinny that knows all about auto mechanics. And Michelle is very special. Every American that I know in town takes their car to Michelle and they only have fabulous things to say about her. This is like a half an hour interview. But Michelle's going to talk about what she does, how she got into it. Towards the end of the video, throughout the video is very interesting, but towards the end she talks about the philosophy of hands-on training versus institutional training, taking classes. It's very interesting. So here we go. I'm going to introduce you to my friend, the auto mechanic, and she owns the place where she does all of her business. All of her contact information is down in the description below. Thank you, Michelle. Let's get on with the interview. So, Michelle, what is your full name?
Michelle May. Well, in Mexico, they use obviously both maiden name as in the name, but Michelle May Reyes, but here it'd be Michelle May Reyes Biscard.
Okay. And where are you from?
I'm originally from the Chicagoland area, Illinois, and for the people who actually know that area, it's about an hour outside of Chicago called Sycamore, Illinois.
Okay. How long have you lived in Mexico?
16 years.
16 years?
Yeah.
And do you speak Spanish?
Sí, hablo muy bien el español. Y también mecánica es también en español. It's a whole nother language. I speak both English and Spanish.
Okay. And do you have children?
I have 7 children. 10 was my goal, but then with this adventure with the shop, I adopted the other 3 in mechanics.
Okay. And where do your children live?
All my children live here in Mexico.
No.
Yeah.
Where?
Well, the majority is still with us, but I have one daughter who became very independent at 18. Very proud of that girl. Mm-hmm. And so she lives in an apartment on her own. So you have near us, but on her own.
You have 6 children that live with you?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. So what is the business that you operate in Chapala?
Well, this business that I helped take over with my daughter is a mechanic shop. And that happened a little over 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. And back in 2016, I didn't know any mechanics. I just came to be a support for her, that she wanted to help take care of this mechanic business that was her father's and her father's associate when they started it up. And she ended up taking control of it, I with her. Mm-hmm. And it's been quite the adventure these past 5 years, learning mechanics, everything, engine, transmission, suspension, even body shop painting, everything I took on to learn.
Wow, that's phenomenal. I don't know anything about cars, nothing.
I didn't 5 years ago either.
Now, does your husband work with you?
He will come and help out sometimes here, but his what brought us here in Mexico 16 years ago was his career change that he had made up in Chicago. His first career, I always say his first love was mechanics. He had his own shop by the time he was 18. He's Mexican. He was from Michoacan. And then when he moved up to the Chicagoland area with his family in his 20s, he changed careers up there. And so that's what actually brought us back here 16 years ago. It was industrial machinery, and that's what he actually currently works in. Lasers, bending presses, high precision metal manufacturing, and so that's what he still currently does. But he does come and help out at the shop. Truthfully, it was more a hobby for him and something he looked forward to having when he retired. And it just kind of happened that me and my daughter are the ones that have taken it over and have been making it function.
Okay.
I don't know.
Now, do you work on cars yourself?
Yes, I do. It took a few years. Well, not even. I'd say my first car I really wanted to get into, I wanted to change a valve cover gasket on one of my vehicles. And it's probably one of the simplest things to change on a 4-cylinder is its valve cover gasket. Now, it was probably after a year of me learning mechanics that I finally had the time that I made for myself and the courage to do it myself. It was a valve cover gasket and a sensor I wanted to change, and so that was when I started working on cars myself. And now I'll help the guys even in differential work and taking apart the axles and changing out the boots and cleaning, and I'll do just about anything I can get my hands on now.
Okay.
I'll do painting too, repair and painting. I'll do it all.
Okay. And how many employees do you have?
Well, we've fluctuated so much over the years. We've had at one time easily over 20, I think over 20 employees, because my husband, when he started this, he started big and went with 3 different shops. But when I came in to help take control, it wasn't a business that I wanted to have really big because for me, I was still learning. Also, I have different mindset of goals for the business. I kind of wanted to get back to what he wanted, just kind of as a hobby, helping out friends and family, the community. And so now I've reduced my team. And after even COVID and stuff, we really reduced everything to make it more manageable for me to get to my goals. So I try to tell my customers, guide customers where they can go to different shops that I now know and trust that they'll take care of their cars. Maybe not to the detailed level I do because of my detailed receipts and everything, but I trust who they can go to. And then for me, myself here at the shop, I've reduced our team down to we're at least a team of, because I do bring in guys at times, so we're at least all the time a team of 6, I think now. So let me think. It's because we keep fluctuating. And I have a body shop guy who comes in and helps me out. I have transmission guys who will come in and help me out. But mostly all the time here, it's Maddie, myself, Esteban, Miguel, Danny. And then we'll have the other people that come in and help us out. So, yeah, right now we're a nice little team that I like because it helps me now go and manage towards my goal of just trying to educate more of the community and educate the people who want to have help and work done on their cars, but they need to know who they can go to. And some come from far away, and I'm like, well, I know this person, this mechanic that's closer to where you live. I trust them, and if you can get past at least the Spanish barrier, then use him by all means. He's really good. And so that's what I'll try to do with different people in the community. I have somebody in Ixtlahuacan I really like. I have somebody San Antonio I really like. And then depending on what they need exactly too, over in Ajijic, there's an air conditioning specialist guy that I really like, and I send people to him. And yeah, just depending on what their needs are, I try to redirect them. So I just keep my teams here enough, busy enough to keep them taken care of, and then I get to work more on my stuff. And that's where I'm working to. And eventually I want to change my shop into more an educational shop, and also I want to move it so I'm more private, where people can't find me that easily.
Okay. Where do you want to move it to?
Well, and for now, I think I want to just rebase it back to where we started it. And actually, my husband had started it we have a lot on the side of our house, a big lot of 10 by 42 2 meters deep, and that's where we had originally started it. And I want to get it back to that starting point, so that now I can really remake it into what the goal of originally was, to be a shop to help the community, a shop to educate the community. I want, there's those shop sounds, the educate women, which is funny because in group settings where I talk about wanting to help educate the women in my community, the men, the friends, the husbands next to the woman are like, but you'll educate men too, right? And I realized, you know what? My goal was always focused on educating women, but there's everybody in the community that does need help, needs to know what they need to know about owning a vehicle, how to maintain their vehicle. And so that's like a huge gap in this, especially in where I live in this community. I've noticed I used to not know anything about cars. I fully blindly trusted my husband just to always take care of it. And I realize now, for my children's sake, for a friend's sake and everything, it's a really good tool to have that knowledge, at least the basic knowledge of cars and what you need to do to take care of your car and how to ask the right questions to where, I tell my customers all the time, you're going to be traveling. I have customers that travel everywhere in their vehicles. I'm like, you may never know when you might have an incident where your car breaks down. You need to know how to ask the mechanics the right questions to know that you're going to get your car taken care of, honestly, too. And so I also that's what I try to also teach my customers, how to, wherever they're at, feel safe about who they're leaving their car with and who's going to take care of their car.
Okay. And where do you train people?
Mostly right now, it's just always one-on-one talking to them, training.
Okay.
That's pretty much how I do it right now. And it is time consuming, but I mean, I love that the customers that really pay attention and who really want to learn, they're taking notes or they make that effort. One thing too, I like to teach my customers, for us as a business, we always have, percentage we raise on all costs of parts, oils, everything, because here, we don't really have things delivered to us. We always have to go out and get things. So I explain exactly how I charge. That's key, too, for my customers to understand. I'm probably the most expensive shop in this whole area. But it's because I do this education, too. And I also give them options. I mean, I give them choices to where they can also have it done cheaper at other shops if they want to. They just don't have the record keeping if they need it like I do. But I also encourage my customers to bring me their oils if they can. I like it when they can because that breaks that barrier of going into a parts store, AutoZone, Orma, whichever. It breaks that insecurity of going into a parts store to do something about their own vehicle. A lot of people are kind of insecure about that. And so when I encourage them and I give them a shopping list for their car, it kind of helps them develop an interest and really want to take better care of their vehicles to understand the process. It helps them understand the process I go through every day. It doesn't matter if I've done it 100 times, it's still a process I have to go through. Hence I do charge up on it. And that's what I always explain to my customers. And I have plenty of customers, they love it. And so every time they're ready for their next oil change, they just bring it to me and I just charge them the labor for the oil and everything, the oil change. But then also, there's customers that are like, okay, we did the process. We understand what you do. We're happy to pay you the amount you charge us. It's okay. Just you take care of it from now on. And there's people like that too. But at least it's my way of trying to see how in tune the customer will be on taking care of future maintenance needs on their car. And most are pretty good.
Yeah, I've had my car in here several times over a 3-year period.
Yeah, and I've told you, nope, you don't need an oil change yet.
Oh, yeah. Well, or you don't need spark plugs.
You
told me that.
Plugs, yep.
But I can't even remember some of the stuff you've done. But you will send me videos through WhatsApp, and you'll say, okay, well, here's what's wrong. Here's the part. We need to replace this. We're going to take it out, and it does help me understand what's going on.
Well, I love doing that, actually. I mean, that's probably what takes up most of my time is the constant photos and videos. But nowadays, it's like it's easily done. You can easily be able to document these things for the customers, reassure the customers this is what's going on in your car, instead of a customer blindly leaving their vehicle with whatever mechanic, which every mechanic nowadays has a cell phone, a smartphone of some sort. They can record, they can take photos, and explain briefly to the customer, this is what happened to your car, and this is the before and after. It takes a couple seconds before and after.
Okay.
And to send these things, and it helps reassure, it helps educate. And I don't know, for me, it's like an awesome tool to have that obviously we didn't have many years ago. And there's really no excuse for any mechanic shop to say, we can't, we don't do that or anything, when it's, everybody's walking around with one of these things. Everybody is, and it's easy to do, and I do fill up my memory real fast because I take so many photos. But hey, I get an external chip and pop one in and pop one out, or start just deleting the unnecessary videos and photos. And it helps keep everything well documented. And I've had occasions where something wasn't a mechanical error and not a parts error, and my customers bring the vehicle back and, this is happening. And I know how shady mechanics will work. They'll say, oh, well, it's a whole different thing and you have to pay more money. And the customers have no clue about their cars. And not me. I said, this was a mechanical error. This is all under warranty. Don't worry about your vehicle. And taking videos and taking photos is a huge part. Hey, maybe even keeping the mechanic honest, and also help educate the customer about what's going on with their car. So.
Okay. And what makes of car do you work on? You work on all makes.
Everything. I've worked on all of them pretty much. I mean, BMW, Mercedes, Ford, Chevrolet. I've recently, for the first time for myself, worked on an Alfa Romeo.
I see a Volkswagen over there.
Oh yeah, tons of Volkswagen. Volkswagen are like one of our favorites, and it's funny because the technology, the German technology is it's very different than the Japanese technology, than the American technology of how cars are built and function. Some with a vacuum system for the German technology. Well, I say German, European actually. It's European technology. And so it just varies different cars from all the three. My favorite, I'd say, though, of simplicity and easy to repair are the Japanese vehicles. And so whenever my customers are like, well, what kind of vehicle do you recommend getting? And I say, well, if you want the economical parts, the simplicity of the repairs and everything, availability of parts here in this area, the Japanese vehicles are probably the more sought after vehicles.
Okay. Yeah, you work on my Lexus.
Yeah.
Which is a Toyota.
Exactly.
Okay. To me, you're in a very strange situation. You're from Chicago, you're a white woman living in Mexico, and you own an auto mechanic shop. And not only do you own it, but you also know cars and you work on them also.
I am still green. I'm still new at this. I mean, I have a lot more to learn. But once I really got into it and started learning it, I really love the confidence boost it gave me. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. I don't know if you had another question or something else in there.
No.
And you're right, I am an oddity. I'm a very huge oddity here. And the more I've learned about vehicles and the more I share that information with the people in my community, the more people come into my shop. Now, especially where I'm located, I'm a little more hidden than where I was before. Now here, where I'm located, people have to really search to find me. They don't find me very easily. And then the rare occasion somebody just stumbles into my shop for whatever reason, they didn't come because they're looking for me. They just came for whatever reason. It's always a jaw drop to see what is this white woman in a foreign country speaking Spanish saying to me about my car. How does she know this about my car? It's actually one of my favorite things now that I feel more confidence about my knowledge of cars and everything, which I have yet to even get certified for. I mean, all I've learned is just picking constantly the brains of my certified mechanics. And if I wasn't satisfied with certain answers of theirs, hey, I have 2 languages. I could go look up online more and more information. So that helped me really learn to tack on full on to get as much knowledge as I can about what I'm trying to help my community with about their vehicles, maintenance and repairs and everything.
And the internet helps you immensely, right?
Oh yes, nowadays the internet does help. It gives you various options of various different, like, because there is your straight up, your dealership repairs, you go to the dealerships, it's a certain way and this and takes care of, certain exact parts. But then again, we live in a country that a lot of people don't have access to maybe the proper tools, the proper parts, and it takes them back to the days of engineering, of modifying and trying to, as they call it in Spanish, doing tricks to the vehicle to just get it going or keep it functioning. And then in Spanish, I love, they call it mexicanadas. They'll use it as a bad term in a lot of ways, but I have fun with it and try to have fun saying it's the new engineering.
Okay.
It's a different way of engineering. It's a different way of trying to fix things when you don't have the right tools, when you don't have the right parts. You work with what you can. Some of them do it and it's terrible, but others, I tell my guys all the time, where do you think engineering and machinery has advanced throughout the years? It's from people deciding, what you used to make, I want to make it better, or I want to modify it or change it, or I'm going to put something else and see how well that works and experiment to make something function and work maybe even better from where it did before.
And it amazes me. Hey, please leave a comment. What didn't we ask Michelle? What should we have asked Michelle on our videos? What kind of videos do you want to see? Leave a comment, please. It amazes me, those scanner thingies.
Oh yes, the computer scanners. These guys.
Okay.
That looks like a little tablet.
Yeah, okay. So you plug that in, and that's a new one, right?
That's my newer one, yeah. It's not the most new of up-to-date one, but it's newer for me. It's a few-year-old scanner, yeah.
So you can plug that into almost any vehicle, and it tells you what's right and what's wrong with the car.
Oh, it does a lot. Not just tells me what's going on with the car, like the code, the error codes it's going to throw at me, but it gives me a lot of options to adjust throttle bodies, to adjust actuators, to get into all sorts of components of the car, where just with that, I touch buttons on that and all the door locks go up and down, all the windows can go up and down just by touching that and not touching anything on the car. Because that hacks into the computer of the car that controls all the different modules on the car, and it does a lot. It does a lot of things, and I'm still learning, but I love it.
Okay. Now, so you love your company and then what's going on in education and the cars, but overall, you've been in Mexico 16 years. How do you like living in Mexico?
Oh, I love this area. The Lake Chapala area is, and when we first moved here, my husband's business required that he travel a lot of places in Mexico. And we went with him. We would travel with him, driving all over in different areas of Mexico. So I've seen a lot of Mexico. But always the feeling coming back here was just like, this is home. This is home, and I love living here. I love Lake Chapala. I love this area, and I can't imagine. I would love for my children to have the experience of what it is to live where I grew up and lived in the U.S. Mm-hmm. It would be torture for me if I did go back there. Even though I would like that they had that education so that they'd have to know that experience. That they are spoiled rotten here in this area. They've got it really good because the beautiful weather all year round, the beautiful mountains. Even when they go brown in the dry season, it's still the beauty, consistent beauty here. And even though I admit, moving from, your little picture perfect towns up in the Chicagoland area where we lived in all the different suburbs and stuff, moving here, the adjustment of seeing things not so perfect. Mm-hmm. A lot of people really don't take that into consideration when they first move here. They'll see graffiti, they'll see garbage maybe not picked up in the streets, and there's a lot of things that this country has yet to really stay on top of. But at the same time, I say, hey, there's so much this place is giving that's gorgeous. Stop focusing on the things that aren't so beautiful and let it be. Make a point to do something about it if you see something you don't like. But in the end, this country is gorgeous, well, especially this area, and it has so much to show and give.
Okay. Where else have you lived in Mexico, or has it all been in?
Only here in Chapala. We moved here 16 years ago in Chapala, and my husband has family in different areas, so we have visited and friends in different areas. But of all the places we've visited and checked out, I prefer to always come back here.
Okay. So what do you do when you're not working? I mean, or is your brain always in a car?
Oh, my brain is usually always in a car. If I'm not working, I try to, my children, they've been very understanding, and that's what I'm also trying to work back to, where I want to bring it back to the lot next to my house, so that I can have my children more involved with me every day, because when I'm done working, I go home and it's just back to my children, and it's they jump and fight over who gets to hug and snuggle next to Mog first, and I love it. And I'll talk with them, I'll do things with them, even though I know I need to get back to that home environment with them, so I can get them back into doing things that I love doing at home, gardening, just simple little gardening. All kids need to learn to play in dirt, and mud holes, everything. But now that I've acquired this tool, this knowledge of mechanics, I also now really want to get back home and have my children hands-on. Actually, I've on occasions brought them here. I'll let them pull out air filters, and I'll show them simple things to do. But I really would like to teach them more and more. It's just the basics know-how of vehicles, and allow them to explore that level of engineering and of vehicles mechanics. And so that's where also another goal I'm getting to. And I'm sorry, my children, if you feel like I have not fully been there every day, because I have been working full-time, and I've been here with one of my children here, my daughter. But yes, that is one thing I'd say one of my sacrifices that I've made for learning mechanics and taking on this project is not being able to spend as much time with my children. But I'll get back with my goal is to get back to being able to teach them and work this project to where I'm the shop and business, bring it back to where I can use it more, and my children to learn it, if the ones especially that want to learn it. I obviously know not all want to learn everything, but I do have a daughter who she's super excited to want to learn things. I have a son that would like to know a lot of the basics, and I have a lot of children, period. A lot of them would like to know certain things. Actually, one of my daughters with one of my sons, he's an aspiring chef and he loves to cook and stuff. And they already talked to each other that she said, I'll fix your cars if you cook my meals.
Okay, all right.
And so I find that adorable, that the mentality of where they would like to, what they want to do. And my son, who wants to just be the chef and everything, he's like, yeah, I don't really care. I'll just ask Cindy to help fix my cars if I need her.
Okay.
And so I love that. And so that's my goal too, is to teach Cindy, one of my daughters, what she wants to learn about the cars and passion. She's my little clone, so it doesn't surprise me that she will take on this passion fully, just like I have.
How old is she?
She's 10 right now.
Oh, 10, wow.
I know, imagine that.
Wow.
She started now, she'll go far in this.
Okay, so I have about 4,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Okay.
And a young lady, I'll call her a young lady, sent me a message last week, and she said, if I'm 45 years old and I live in Chapala, Ajijic, can I meet people my age?
I don't see why not. I'm 43 and, just about to be 43, and I meet tons of them, helping them out in their cars every week. And so there's plenty of people within that age range. And in American and obviously Mexican, and depending on her language barrier or how far she starts getting, learning the language, This area is full of more than what it used to be 16 years ago. It was mostly just retired, older generation of, well, not just Americans, Canadians, Europeans, even Australians. I've met everybody from all worlds here. It's awesome. This how this community has grown. And before, where the age was mostly of foreigners here was above a certain age range, and now it's children and families, and I've met more and more every year that passes. There's so many that live here.
Okay.
So, and they speak English, or they're foreigners in this. I call this area actually kind of like the little melting pot of Mexico, because this area has a huge number of people from all over the world, everywhere, not just from the U.S. and Canada. Yeah, it's a major number. But now I've met so many other people from different countries here, and it's awesome.
Now, I'm going to say this is a stupid question, but I mean, you've been here, you've learned Spanish fluently. For people who are thinking about moving here, or people that have moved here, what are the advantages of speaking Spanish?
It'll help you, especially if you're traveling in the country and there's not many areas, that everybody would speak English. The nice thing, though, with technology today, you've got a Google Translator on your phone pretty much, or applications, even if you don't have internet, that applications will help you translate what you need to communicate. So with technology today, and if you can at least understand how to use your technology, feel free to go wherever you need to go.
Okay.
And Spanish, it would help. It makes things much easier. But what I love about this community, it's very accommodating. There's many people here that will help, speak English to you if you need help with it. And, but yeah, I would say if you can make the effort to, take classes, work hard, and speak nothing but Spanish with your neighbors and people, even if they speak English, say, you speak English to me, I'll speak Spanish to you. Please correct me also. That'll help you big time in learning the language. It's just keep it humble, learn to laugh at your mistakes. You'll make mistakes, just laugh at them. It'll help keep you going and help keep you learning. And as long as you get some of the basics down, you'll do fine.
Okay. So I'm going to wrap this up.
Okay.
What didn't I ask that you would like to say something about?
What did you not ask? Let me think. I could talk for hours. No. No. Oh goodness. Let's see. If anything of more important, you should have asked me that in the beginning, so that I would think about it throughout the interview of, okay, what should I put into this interview that you might not have thought of. Well, you did pretty much, I think, cover the majority of it. I know this interview, the purpose is mainly for mechanic know-how and the careers and choices here. One thing I really like about what I took on with this mechanic shop is this world is so conformed to and stuck into an education that everybody needs to, be educated in the school system, in the university certifications, and truthfully, where people most excel is when they actually get the experience, not the certification. A lot of times people request a certification before an experience. And in the end, the experience is what counts more than the actual certification. And that's my living proof right now for myself. I have no certification of mechanics because I have studied and worked and questioned and learned by mistakes by my mechanics who I've worked with. And I love last year how COVID also, the downside of COVID, but you have to always try to look at the upside of COVID. COVID forced us into a situation where we really have to relook at our whole way of education. And a lot of it is online, whereas before, online, or people had to learn things hands-on at home. They took on home projects because, COVID. You can't hire somebody to come into your house and redo things, or you can't, people were afraid to go even now take their cars somewhere, so they started online, hands-on, on their own tools in their own home and their own vehicles, learn to take care and do things. And so I try to see the benefit of education in nowadays. There's a whole new level of teaching, learning, and definitely the internet is a key piece in that nowadays. And so I don't know. I know we kind of briefly touched on that, but that's one of my things I love to encourage my customers or encourage people around me. You don't need to have to conform to a rigid schedule of, I'm going to sign up for these courses or anything. You make the choice every day at your home and your devices that you have available now to you to learn and educate yourself way more beyond and faster than if you were to wait in line or wait in classes, the teacher to instruct you. Is everybody on the same page? Because people's learning it. Some people can learn way faster than others. Others require to go over and repeat it, which if they need a repetition here, they have the rewind, watch it again, the rewind, watch it again. And that helps them advance at their own pace. And so I like how that kind of education really helped myself and people all around have to relearn the whole different way of education with utilizing the tools of the internet.
Oh, okay. Well, Michelle, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And maybe we'll do this again sometime.
Sure.
And we'll have your contact information in the video.
Yep. You have my cell phone number, 33 11 39 85 39.
Okay.
And yeah, put my email, our business emails, thefrats.chapala at gmail.com.
And that's on your card that I have, correct?
Yeah, which I don't give out cards anymore because I've been trying to simplify everything, but it's okay. You can still give it out. Actually, during my high season, when I'm really saturated with a lot of work, I tell my customers, or even my new customers who've showed up that are like, we're going to tell everybody about you. I usually say, you are allowed one. One person, and it has to be an emergency during my high season. Come low season, you're free to talk all you want about me. High season, please, I have so much to do.
When is low season?
Low season actually should have started after April, May, but I did receive a lot of new customers over this past high season, which usually starts around October, November, and then slows down. It's when a lot of foreigners come back to this area or come visiting to escape the snow and everything, and they come to this area and they're in a nice warm for them, cold over there for them, warm over here for us season. And so that's usually around October, November to April, May. That's my saturated high season. And so once that dies down, then come on in and, low season, that gives me a break. I get to work on my projects. And that's when I've told my customers, you can recommend all you want to come during that season. And so I should have already started my low season, but I think all the people I met during my high season have been sending me a lot of people, and I've been quite busy this month.
Okay, all right.
But it's okay. It's good.
Well, thank you, Michelle.
You're very welcome.
If you like the video, if you like Michelle, if you like the interview, click the like button, please. YouTube likes the like button. Thank you very much, Michelle, for this interview. It was fabulous. And thank my subscribers and new people showing up to the channel, watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button. We have many more wonderful videos to come.